What is up, and welcome back to another episode of Blood and Beer, the show where we talk blood sport and we drink beer. I'm your host, Matt, and as always, we've got some MMA to talk, we've got some beer to drink, and we're recapping UFC 314. I'm a couple days late, couple dollars short, but it is what it is. I was absolutely exhausted after our live stream for a couple days. Just fucking beat. I was beat up, I was worn out. We're getting into it, because this 314 card, exactly what we needed out of the UFC. As far as just, it delivered. On paper, we had 8 finishes, I think, out of the 14 fights. It delivered. It was just an awesome card, and we're going to get into all of it. Alexander Volkanovski breaking every curse in the book. We're going to talk about what's next for these guys, everything. As always, I said, we got some beer to drink. We're sipping on some Mickeys. I don't know. This is kind of a lackluster episode. I'm trying to get back in the swing of things. UFC's on a break, and it's kind of throwing me off. It's throwing off my schedule a little bit. Give me just a moment here. But yeah, back at it. Sun woke up. What we got for you though. First, I want to say a huge thank you to the people that tuned into the live stream. Leon Must, Nels, Noah, Shade, you guys that were there for the whole time. Dusty, all of you included. I appreciate you tuning in. And it really meant a lot. It went a lot better than I was expecting. I was expecting 0 viewers the whole time through. We were rocking about 8 to 15. It was nice. It was nice for the Blood and Beer channel. It was nice, But we're breaking down UFC 314. We're not patting ourselves on the back. What I am patting myself on the back on are our bets from this weekend, though. Yair Rodriguez hit for me all 1,000 of the bets. One is 505.05. So I'm now up 1,300. Cody lost $10. He's still rocking around 2,700. Noah lost another 123, so he's now down 1,337. So there's a pretty big gap there, pretty big discrepancy. But we move on, we digress. We don't judge Noah for not being a great bettor, but we move on to what we're here for, what I've been teasing, what I've been tickling you about UFC 314. And we're going to kick things off with Alexander Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez. I said it, and what I said didn't do enough justice to Volkanovski. He was so much better than Diego Lopez in this fight, just from a fighter standpoint. Diego Lopez, you could tell, was stronger, was the more athletic guy, but Volkanovski just fought this fight perfectly. He wins the fight on unanimous decision. But the fight itself, he got beat up. Yair Rodriguez didn't pull the trigger. A lot of people said that's not what's important. What's important is Volkanovski broke every curse in the book. The over 35 curse. No fighter over 155 has ever won the belt after turning 35. The 2 knockouts in a row curse. Nobody's ever won a title after doing that. The Drake curse. Drake put $500K on Volk. Volk hit it for him. Drake loses every fucking bet in the book, and Volk does it. Volk, I really think, even though you look at the resume of Jose Aldo, I think you have to move Volk into the GOAT conversation as a featherweight, as the body of work at featherweight for the UFC. It's insane to lose the belt, come back and win it, and now he's looking at a Movsar Evloev, who, that's a good matchup for him. He can grapple, he can anti-grapple. He's not going to get knocked out by Evloev, so that's a good fucking matchup for Volk, and just, it's so hard to put into words how great this victory was for the guy. He up against every curse in the book. Nobody that knows MMA expected him to win. You expected him to win based on his skill, but you're like, the chin doesn't recover. The chin recovered. Nobody comes back after being 35. Nobody comes back after 2 knockouts. He does it. Volk does it. Volk continues to prove us wrong. Dude's a killer. Evloev next. Probably. Jean Silva's calling for it. Bad matchup for Volk because Jean Silva's got that kill shot. But, yeah. Not a lot to say about it. As for Diego Lopez, his matchup next is set. Guadalajara. It was either going to be the main or the co-main. Now it's going to be the co-main. Him, Yair Rodriguez. No more to be said. We'll get into the Yair fight in just a moment. But the co-main event, we had Paddy Pimblett taking on Michael Chandler. And another fight where people were wondering, does this guy still have it? Is the young gun coming in to take his shine? And Paddy Pimblett certainly did that in this fight. Goes out there and just beats the shit out of Michael Chandler. Ground control. Chandler had ground control in the first round, but at the end of the day, Paddy Pimblett beat the shit out of him. Gets a TKO stoppage with ground and pound in round 3. And what can you say? The defense still looks a little suspect for Paddy Pimblett, but the hype that he has, the fans that he has. This dude's ready for a title shot at this point. To give it to him, it'll piss a lot of people off. There's a lot of people he's jumping. A lot of people that he's jumping, I don't hate. People that have been there, that have fought Islam or fought for the belt or fought for a chance to get the belt. But what I really want to see, and I've been preaching it on my show for the past week and a half, 2 weeks, Pimblett versus Topuria. Topuria just had a great interview on JRE, but Pimblett versus Topuria for the vacant title. Islam's going to move up, fight whoever wins between Bilal and JDM. I don't think Islam cares that much about Bilal the way Bilal cares about Islam. He's going to move up, take that fight, vacate his title. It's Ilya versus Paddy for the vacant title. It sells. They fucking hate each other. There's been beef. There's been hotel room brawls. The fight fucking sells. It's a no-brainer. There's nothing else. Don't say I want to see Paddy versus Justin, Paddy versus Dustin, Paddy versus Gamrot, Paddy versus Armin. None of it. I don't want to see none of it. I want to see Paddy versus Ilya. That's the only fight to fucking see. That's the only one. That's the only one we got. And then in the feature fight, we had Patricio Pitbull Fieri made his UFC debut. Didn't turn out too well for the guy. He lost to Yair Rodriguez in a unanimous decision. But decent showing. He's another situation with Chandler where great fighters in their prime came to the UFC a little late. And then with Chandler, he waited for 2 years, wasted 2 years of the end of his prime. Didn't get to see the best of him for UFC fans. Patricio, he comes in, he's also on the end of his prime, and Yair's a horrible matchup for him with the range, with the unpredictable kicks, the striking, and he's got really good grappling as well. So terrible matchup for Pitbull. Is what it is. I'd still like to see the guy in fun fights. I want to see him against Chandler. They say the beef squashed. I don't give a shit about beef. It's a good fight. They both are bangers. It's a good fight. I want to see that fight. But for Yair Rodriguez, he says that Hunter Campbell promised him a title shot next. That's not happening in my books. You're 1-2 in your last 3. Next move for you, buddy. You got to fight Diego Lopez in Guadalajara at UFC Noche. That's the only move that there is to make. I mean, there's nothing else for you. Nothing else. And then Jean Silva puts the fucking straps to Bryce Mitchell. Beats him up, chokes him out, unconscious. He's the real deal. He's shored up that grappling defense. Every time I see the Fighting Nerds come out, they have a new element to their game. They're better. I think I see a hole in their game. I think I see a hole in their game. I think I see something. No. They just figure it out. I said, Jean Silva, he got taken down 3 times by Charles Jourdain. Bryce Mitchell was 1 for 14 on takedowns against Jean Silva. Figured it out, got the takedown defense, and ends up choking out Bryce Mitchell. Shocks the world. Nobody's expecting him to get the tap out. And now people are calling for Jean Silva. Jean Silva's calling for Jean Silva to get the next title shot against Volk. Hey, he is a terrible matchup for Volk. Probably knocks him out just because of the matchup. Hasn't done enough to deserve it quite yet, but man, one more fight, Jean Silva could put himself there. And dude's a fun-ass guy. As cringe as he was at the press conference, all the shit I was talking about, that fun-ass guy to watch fight, fun-ass fighter, just, he brings it. He just got a little cringe, got a little carried away with the barking persona that the man carries. But, yeah, Jean Silva, shocking the world. Nobody saw him getting a Darce choke, ninja choke, whatever you want to call it, on Bryce Mitchell, modified guillotine. Filthy stuff. Filthy stuff. It was absolutely... my jaw dropped when I saw it. I was shocked. Alright, sorry about that. And in the curtain jerker for the main card, Dom Reyes scores a first-round knockout over Nikita Krylov. Step back, straight left hand, right on the jaw of Krylov as Krylov's lunging in. Kind of reminds you of the Conor McGregor knockout of Jose Aldo when he got the 14-second knockout. It was exactly like that. Just step back, pop, knockout. Dude's on his way up. Another guy that I thought was completely washed. The chin's gone. The chin doesn't recover. Well, he's proved otherwise. 3 knockouts in a row now. Anthony Smith, Dustin Jacoby, Nikita Krylov. Guy's on a tear. He's working his way back to the title. You'd give him Carlos Ulberg next. You give him that fight because Ulberg didn't show out. Dom Reyes has continued to show out higher than what anybody's expected from the guy. Give him that fight, title eliminator, because light heavyweight's kind of all wishy-washy right now. Sorry about that. On the prelims, though, we throw a dip in for the prelims, baby. On the prelims, Dan Ige gets a third-round TKO of Sean Woodson. Worst stoppage in UFC history. Absolute worst stoppage in UFC history. Undefensible, undeniable. Knocks Woodson down. Woodson grabs the leg, and he's throwing punches to the side of Woodson's head. But Woodson's elevating, getting up, and the ref stops it. Weirdest shit I've ever seen. Terrible stoppage. Dan Ige, though, looked great. I had it 19-19 going into the third. Ige was winning the third, but Woodson was still attacking. I could have seen it 2018 Woodson, but all three judges had it for Ige 2018 before the stoppage, so he would have won anyways. Might have got a 10-8 in that third round, but terrible stoppage. Woodson, though, suffering his first UFC defeat. He is now 7-1-1 in the UFC. And Dan Ige, probably the shortest guy he's fought yet, shortest reach, everything, is the guy that takes him down. Shocking to see. Shocking stuff there. And then we had number one contender fight, possibly interim championship position for Virna Jandiroba versus Yan Xiaonan. And Virna Jandiroba wrestle fucks a girl for 3 rounds. Yan Xiaonan had nothing for her. No submission threat really from Virna, but she was on top of her, beating her up. It was a fight that happened. Yan Xiaonan might be a little past her prime. Virna Jandiroba, she should have got the title shot over Tatiana Suarez. She's better than Tatiana Suarez. She has a much deeper resume. She's on a huge win streak. But you look at where UFC's coming from. Tatiana Suarez, hurt all the time. Great story. You got to strike while the iron's hot while she's healthy. And they did that. But Virna got left out. Now, you look at Zhang Weili. Probably going to be moving up to 125, I would imagine, after this Manon Fiorot-Valentina fight at 315. Especially if Valentina wins. If she doesn't win, I can see Weili going back to 115 to challenge Virna. But it's Weili's world. Everyone's just living in it until she moves up to 125 for good. And then we saw Chase Hooper. He got a unanimous decision win over Jim Miller. Nothing too special out of it, but I mean, he does the damn thing. Had him in weird pretzel crotch ripper thing. I don't know. Chase Hooper, though, next fight for the guy. Give him Michael Chandler. Continue this old man streak for the guy. I'm just running through the show because we're late as shit. I don't know if anybody's going to be tuning in for this one, but we got to do a recap. We got to talk about something because we got a week off of the UFC and I got to be filling content. I don't feel like doing a preview for the PFL. You know, they just fucking suck right now. And then, moving on, though, we had Julian Erosa absolutely kill Darren Elkins. Elkins gets Julian Erosa down early in round 1. Erosa lands an up kick that wobbled Elkins for the rest of the fight. After they get back to their feet, Elkins is wobbled. Julian Erosa is beating him up. Elkins dives on a leg and lands about 15-20 shots to the head. Elkins not responding, just grabbing onto the leg. Beltran steps in. Man, the fight should have been stopped a lot sooner. But Julian Erosa, Juicy J, looking good. Dude's a fun fighter. Just puts on fun fights. He wants a top 15 showing. I don't care if you give him top 15. I just want to see him in fun fights. I love watching Julian Erosa fight. But before that, we had Mikhail Oleksiejczuk gets a first-round TKO over Cedric Dumas, serial woman beater. Cedric Dumas goes out there, gets beat up in round 1. Oleksiejczuk finishes it off after a flurry of punches with ground and pound. Not much to say. Dude was on he was 1-4 in his last 5. Oleksiejczuk gets the win. Cedric Dumas, very underwhelming in his UFC career. They're prelim fighters. They just knew it was going to be a fun fight. We don't have to break it all down. We don't have to say what's next for these guys that got nothing left. And before that, we had Marco Tulio beat the shit out of Tresean Gore. Fun fight in the first round. Tresean Gore dropped him once, wobbled him another time. But Tulio was just not feinting anything. Everything he threw was landing. A 62 or 70% striking accuracy. Dude was on fire. So, did the damn thing. Goes out, gets a second round TKO. Like I said, beats the shit out of Tresean Gore. 100% strikes. Absolutely no feints. Like to see what's next for the guy. Maybe that style works. Maybe people are just ready for feints. They're not expecting strikes nonstop. So, Tulio guy at middleweight that could do something. He could also do absolutely fucking nothing. We'll have to see what his wrestling's like. And then in the curtain jerker, we had Nora Cannoli. She gets a finish in the second round with a rear naked choke over Haley Cohen. So what? So fucking what? Nobody gives a shit about that fight. Not because it's women MMA, but because it's just such low level bantamweight MMA that who gives a shit. So yeah, card out a little bit of everything. Volk bucking the trend for the old guys, for the Drake curse, for the knockouts. You had Patty taking out the old guy, moving into the top 10. Jean Silva making himself a legitimate contender, choking out Bryce Mitchell. Dom Reyes getting the TKO. Yair Rodriguez and Pitbull was kind of a snoozer, but yeah, fun-ass card. Next week, we are moving on. UFC Kansas City. It's not this weekend, it's next weekend. We got a break. We got PFL coming up this weekend. PFL is PFL, but they do have some good fights on there. We got Brent Primus versus Alexander Shabliy, and in the main event, Impa Kasanganay versus Fabian Edwards. This has been kind of a weird show, just kind of back and forth. I feel like I didn't do too good. I don't know. But thank you for tuning in. Blood and Beer. Like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Spotify. Give us a 5-star rating. We love you. Appreciate you for tuning in.